So you'll notice the duality between these two individuals, Bruce Banner and Hulk, are a split personality. Now, I didn't know this until recent, but apparently, the idea behind this is that uh, Bruce Banner went through a very tumultuous and traumatic childhood, and in those moments, his identity fragments into this ulterior, angry, protective self. He goes through his life, reaches a point in his adulthood as a gamma expert, radio a radiation like specialist. I guess it's a scientist. Is he a nuclear physicist? I think partially. And so he's focusing all his attention on this. He has this accident. Not only does the accident, so to speak, filter and fill his body with gamma radiation, his alternative protective self kicks on as a major threat level to his identity, to his survival, and then somehow absorbs magically the radiation as a protective mechanism. And so it saved Bruce Banner, and then this fragmented part of himself becomes this literal exterior phenomenon, and he is able to, when pushed to a point of threat, transform into this other self, right? So this is an aspect of what we call fragmenting. That's another aspect of what we talked about before, about how the identity is shaped around this your experiences early on, and then it causes a gap between the self internally and the self externally. And this is a sort of a very comical sort of idea of how that shows up, but it's a very real phenomenon. And in fact, dissociative identity disorder is directly linked with this idea of fragmenting the personality as a way of sort of metabolizing energy that was not possible with the tools present when that child was at its most vulnerable. And so it literally splits, which is interesting because it shows a malleability with ourselves, but it also shows how fragile at times things can be if the energy in itself that the systems level cognitive physics talks about is not managed properly. Thankfully, we can take these things into our hands, but we get to see these archetypes, once again, archetypal role, being fulfilled all around.